Well, it's time for us to get started on the main event. I have been talking last week about potentially starting a new retrospective today. And this is a retrospective that I have been thinking of doing for probably over a year. Like, I have several potential retrospectives that I have on a list. Games that I want to play, to check out, to visit, to just fully explore. But the thing about this one retrospective is that every time I thought, maybe I should do this, and I go expand my research and I realize, no wait, that's way too many games. Half of these I can't even run properly. And then I give up. But then it keeps coming back because I keep wanting to do it. And then last week I spent, and I'm not kidding or exaggerating, I spent probably like close to 20 hours overall doing research and building up a list. And yeah, eventually I did enough work that by the end of the week I was like, you know what, I can't do this. Hello there, Games on VHS, welcome my friend. And yes, Alex Murphy, retrospective. That's why I call it a retrospective. I'm glad someone finally got it. Because you could call these many different names. Some people can call them challenges, but to me a challenge is something that is, challenging. Like someone, I'm gonna beat every single RTS game on stream, that's a challenge. The only one of those I have done is, I'm not a big fan of doing challenges. The only one I have done was for charity, which was playing the Half-Life games with the Guitar Hero controller. Which was a lot of fun, of course. But a challenge for me is something that is difficult, not necessarily long. Some people call these marathons, and that's fine. I don't think they're marathons, because a marathon, to me, it means you should do it all in one sitting. Like a 48-hour marathon of some game, I don't know. But no, I like to call them retrospectives, and part of the reason is because there's retro in the name. Although they end up pushing us towards the modern games if you want to be comprehensive, which I always want to be comprehensive. But yeah, this one is no exception. We will be playing some modern shenanigans over here. But a lot of people try to make guesses, and I'm glad to listen to the guesses. No one guessed anywhere even close to what I plan on doing. It's funny. This thing here is a misdirection. It's not a Sonic retrospective. I have talked about a Sonic retrospective before. I do want to do one eventually, but it isn't. This is just to confuse you guys. But yeah, with all of that said, I think it's time for the big reveal. I'm freaking stoked for this. I'm really freaking excited. There's gonna be fun games, interesting games. There's gonna be some jacked games. There's gonna be a lot of shovelware mixed in the middle. You can't really avoid that. But overall, I'm really excited because this is gonna be very interesting. I think it's going to be wacky. I think it's going to be lunacy. I think we're gonna be crying. Sounds like a big one. It is. It is. So without further ado, I think I've milked it for all it's worth. Let's get the show on the road, shall we?
What's up, Duck? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. I'm taking charge here. That's what's up. 50 years of you hot in the spotlight is enough. I am riding the shield from now on because I, personally, have all the talent around here. Okay, Mac, let's take it from the top. Okay, far enough. Now then, camera, music, sound. very funny. You may expect to hear from my attorneys. Well, if I'm not gonna star in this cartoon, we might as well just start the movie. Roll 'em!
We're playing through every single Looney Tunes game. All of them. Yes, games on VHS, that does include the test games, yes. And Alex Murphy, that's actually a very good guess. The fact that Alex Murphy made that guess means he's a very cultured person. Because that intro is from the Gremlins 2 movie. But every Gremlins game is not enough games for a retrospective. It's probably like, what, 6, 7 maybe? It sounds insane, it is. Because that means we're doing every single Taz game. We're doing every single Bugs Bunny game. Tweety, Daffy Duck. Did you guys know there is at least one Porky Pig game? I didn't. Why is there a Porky Pig game? There is at least, believe it or not, there is at least one Cryo game on this list. Do Tiny Toons games count? Yes. Tiny Toon is technically part of Looney Tunes. Yes, they do count. The Roadrunner... Yeah, Porky Pig was their first character, yes. The Roadrunner game... Games on VHS. You know why I wanted to do this retrospective? The main thread that sent me into this rabbit hole, no pun intended, was that Roadrunner game. If you're talking about Desert Valley Rally. Because I learned recently that people hate that game. I rented that game all the time as a kid. I freaking love it. I wanted to revisit on stream, but every time I wanted to do that, I thought, no, I have to do all Looney Tunes games. I love that game. I beat it. I beat it as a kid. It's freaking awesome. Like, you have the freaking map of the boss. The bosses are all huge. You have, like, mechanical, gigantic coyote robots. This is going to be amazing. I think it is. Now, you might be thinking, okay, how many Looney Tunes games could there possibly be? Like 40? Maybe 50? Yeah, the first game on our list is from 1983, yes. Well, chat, here's the thing. If we're gonna be playing Looney Tunes games, of course, that has to include Tiny Toon. And if you're playing Tiny Toons, you kind of have to play Animaniacs games as well. Like, it's right there. It's right there, chat. So we're also playing Animaniacs games as part of the Looney Tunes retrospective. They're not technically, they're listed as bonus games, but we're playing through them. Chronological order of release, yes, that's very important as part of the retrospective thing. Include all games. I'll talk about what it does include, what it doesn't include. So then you're thinking, well, if it's going to include Animaniacs games, that has to be like at least 60. And of course you're gonna throw in, because you're doing Animaniacs, might as well throw in freaking Pinky and the Brain. There's like 2 games, that's fine. Every Looney Tunes game. Yes, Shin Logden said so. And you might be thinking, okay, maybe it's 70, right? That can't be more than like 70 games. So like, I've done 4 retrospectives before. Hang on. Let me find this information right briefly. We have done 4 retrospectives before. Our longest one... 29 videos, 16 videos, 22 videos. Our longest one was Bonk. It had like 15 games, I think. I don't know. But this one, do you guys you guys have a guess, without looking it up, how many games we're gonna be playing here? There are a few that we're gonna be skipping. I'll talk about that. Here's the thing, if you are on a phone right now watching this, I'm sorry. 69, nice. You would have omitted Animaniacs, but there are so many good games. One of the games that I want to play was actually on my list to play during my birthday stream. We never got to it because Superman. I'm not doing all Warner... I could do like all Warner Brothers cartoons, but that would include so much shit. Also, I'm not doing that. But Animaniacs is right there. It should be part of Looney Tunes. It wasn't, but it's so close to it. Anyway, if you are on a phone screen, you're not gonna be able to read this. And like, there's nothing I can do. How do you fit all of these games on a single screen? I tried to use a narrow font. I split it into 3 columns. We're going to be playing 102 games. Games. Now, if you look at the list, if you're on 720p or higher on a screen that is big enough, you can read it. It's going to take like a year. I have beaten like 130 games on stream so far, so yes, 1 year does seem likely. Although some of these are gonna be very short. Some of these will be like 3-4 games a stream. Now, if you look at the list, some of these games have little gift boxes next to them. Those are bonus games. Those are Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. Those are games that are not Looney Tunes, but we're playing it as part of it. Surprised there's only one? There is 2! There is 2 on the 2600. 2 or 3? No, I think it's only 2. Yeah, it's 2. But the other one was released in 2002. No, the Roadrunner port is not going to be played. Here is the deal, okay? This is like a basic rule that goes for everything that I do. If a game has multiple ports, if they're the same game, we're playing I'm picking one and playing that one. I'm not gonna play every single port. So it's 102 unique games. Now, if a game has multiple ports, but they're all unique games, which is the case with the Tasmania games down here, then we'll play all of them. We're not gonna be playing every single port of every game. That will make this list 4 times longer. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, we are going to be skipping... There is one Space Jam game that you play on your phone that doesn't even have characters from the show in it, that you played with augmented reality to throw hoops to get tickets for the movie, and you can't play that game anymore. We're skipping that one. That one is not a game. Okay, number 2. There is the Boomerang website, and if you go there, there's like a dozen Looney Tunes games. Those are like spot the error, match the characters, upload your photograph and put characters on top of it. We're ignoring those, we're not playing those, those are dumb, those are not games. There was one that was like basketball, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a game. You click the mouse, you see an animation of the character throwing a baseball, it switches to another scene. 3 scenes later, 5 minutes in, you've seen everything. We're skipping those games, those are dumb. Alright, those are not games. And finally, we are skipping the handheld games. Not because they're not good, not because I don't want to play them, because I can't. I'm not gonna start importing incredibly expensive shit, because those are not emulated. Some of those are so obscure I couldn't even find pictures of them. I've considered showing videos of them, but like, they're rare, they all badly captured, not every game has. Did you guys know there are at least 2 Looney Tunes games that are actually Tamagotchi games? There is one where you raise Taz on a little LCD screen. including Tiger Electronics, not exclusively Tiger Electronics games. No, okay. I'll get to some of that. One exception to the handhelds games, we're going to be playing Space Jam Tiger Electronics handheld game. That one is emulated, so we'll be playing that. Now, we're going to be playing Looney Tunes games. If a game happens to have Looney Tunes characters, that does not qualify. Unless it is at least half the characters, or they're like in the title of the game or something. So we're not going to be playing Roger Rabbit games. We're not going to be playing multiverses. Just like you wouldn't like play Roger Rabbit games on a Mickey Mouse retrospective, or you wouldn't play Smash Brothers on a Sonic retrospective. Like it's... those are cameos. They're not games based on the characters. So the only game in our list that is not exclusively Looney Tunes that we will be playing is right there at the end. There is a game called Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes Cartoon Universe. That one is half Scooby-Doo, half Looney Tunes, so it does qualify. Alright. And finally, one more caveat about this. If you look at my list, second to last, I have Space Jam: A New Legacy for the Xbox One. It has an YouTube icon next to it. What does that icon mean? It means that the current plan for that is we're going to watch gameplay video of it. The reason for that is that because that game was only ever released for the Xbox One. It also runs on the Series. I don't have an Xbox. I'm not going to buy an Xbox to play a game for 40 minutes. I can't afford it. I did consider... hello there, your mom. Hello there, Abstractism. What's going on here? I'm talking about our plans for the next year. For one slot in the week at least. That is a lot of games. It's like the unhackable console. Here's the thing, I did consider, you know, they have that Xbox Ultimate Live, whatever it's called, subscription that does give you access to cloud gaming. And I thought, yeah, well, I can pay $20 to play 40 minutes, I guess. It's a reasonable sacrifice for my stream. But this one game is not available for cloud streaming because... fuck if I know. Maybe because it's licensed. It's actually a free game. It lasts 40 minutes and it's actually a beat 'em up. I do want to play it, but I can't. So we're gonna be watching a video. Now, it's right at the end. It's going to be 1 year before that is relevant. If I find someone who I can borrow an Xbox from, or maybe one of my viewers finds a way to let me stream from their console, or even there is a shop in my town. I can't contact them right now because it's like 1 year away from now, but I think they might rent an Xbox console to me. So there is a chance we might actually play it instead of watching it, but worst case scenario, we're just watching. It's 40 minutes, it's fine. There's a lot of games that I want to see in here, yes. You hope I have a great time doing this, so do I. Like, I think that some of these will be extremely jacked. And some of these will be dumb, of course, but there is a cryo game in here. What else? Like, some of these games are really difficult to decide on a version to play them. Like, for example, where is it? Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster and the Beanstalk was released for Windows and for PlayStation. Those versions are different, but not enough to justify playing both. It's an adventure game, and they added some platforming segments on the PlayStation 1, but the Windows version is better, so that one is difficult to choose. For now, I'm going for the Windows version. I might change my mind. For example, Space Jam, it was released for DOS, PS1, and Saturn. I think the DOS version is slightly better, but I'm not entirely sure. Some like Lion King, Stupid Heart, I don't know, they seem reasonable so far. But then again, I don't know the majority of them. The one that people really hate is... where is it? It's this one, Roadrunner Death Valley Rally for the SNES, and I love this game. I rented it all the time as a kid. I beat it. It's long, it's going to take some effort, it's very frustrating, but I like it. And yeah, we're adding Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain games as bonuses in here. And for playing these games, most of them I'll be emulating because, like, fine, NES, SNES, those I can emulate them or run them on the Mister. I'm gonna be emulating them because it's way too much shit to shift around through. But a lot of these, halfway through, we're going to kind of switch to real hardware. Love Space Race on... That game, a lot of people really like it, and that game was also released on the PS2 2 years later, but people say the Dreamcast version is better. So I managed to resurrect my Dreamcast. We're gonna be playing that on actual hardware. Believe it or not, this was part of the challenge for me to play through these. We have 2 Android games near the end. One of those is delisted, but we're gonna be playing those on actual hardware. There is a PS Vita game, we're gonna be playing that on actual hardware as well. I managed to figure out a way to hook up my Vita to live support and actually stream it. That's gonna be awesome. Although the game is probably shit. The DS games I cannot play on actual hardware because you cannot stream from a DS without heavy hardware modification, which I can't do. And soft modding for streaming works for 3DS games, not for DS games, even on an actual 3DS. So just a bowling game, yes. We want to be thorough, so I'm not gonna be, this is dumb. One of these games is literally just jigsaw puzzles. But, you know, yeah. We're still doing it. There is at least one Flash game in here. No, there are 3 Flash games in here. I'm gonna be streaming those as well. Anything else that I'd like to touch upon? There are games that are very confusing with their releases. Like the Tasmania games for the Game Boy. If you look them up, you're gonna think they're the same, but they're different because there is 1, there is 2, but they have the same name. Because the first one was released 4 years later on the US, after the show was over. This is based on Tasmania. So if you look up Tasmania 2 online, you're gonna find 2 different games. It's confusing. Yeah, I'm gonna go through everything, yes. We're gonna be revisiting this list from time to time as we work through these games. Sheep, Dog and Wolf not count? It does! It does, it's here, actually. Where is it? Third column, PlayStation 2001. That game was released in the US as Sheep Raider. That's why you couldn't find it. Some of these games have wildly different titles in different regions. It can be very confusing. So let me pull this down. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Hello everyone. Hi, how is it going? So yeah. Yep, good shit. Let's get the show on the road now for good. Do you guys have any idea how long it took me to find all the cover arts and backs of the boxes for these games in English? At least one of them I couldn't find an English back of the box. I found one in Spanish, so I can kind of translate it. No Bosco video games. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm already adding Animaniacs. All of those characters from the Animaniacs show, most of those have no games, except for Pinky and the Brain. One of the Pinky and the Brain games looks like Tracer. Fucking Tracer. I'm terrified of that game. I hope it's not as bad as it looks. First one in 1930. I mean, there are Looney Tunes games in the list. They might have old characters as cameos, for all we care. Scrooge and Darkwing Duck are not Warner Brothers, even. Those are Disney. I'm not engaging on a Disney retrospective quite right now. Tailspin, same thing. That is Disney. We're doing Warner Brothers, not Disney. Yes. Those are fine questions, but no, not what we're doing. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? First of the batch. Daz for the Atari 2600. This game is nothingness. It's 1983 Atari, of course it's nothingness. Like, the Atari 2600 has amazing games. I freaking love me some Keystone Keepers, River Raid. I like freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark. That game is freaking awesome and underrated for the system. It's crazed. This one is a bunch of nothingness. It barely has any relationship to anything as far as the actual character goes. No Tom and Jerry, no. That would be Hanna-Barbera, which might be a thing someday, not today. But yeah, like a Hanna-Barbera retrospective and a Disney retrospective are things that might happen, but a Disney retrospective would be like, what, 300 games? I can't. I have to do something else with my time. So let's take a brief look at the back of the box. How does this one look? What does this one look like? Taz, starring the Tasmanian Devil. This is the old design. It has two faces. That's kind of weird. Right, the cover art literally tells you everything you need to know. Eat the food, avoid the dynamite sticks. That's it, that's the game. MGM, they farmed out to Hanna-Barbera later. Right. Video game cartridge for the Atari 2600 VCS. This game is nothing, as you guys are gonna see. We're gonna be done with it in like 10 minutes. Two faces, yeah. You only saw one, I'm sorry, thanks, I hate it. Yeah, and they share an ear. Alright, let's look at the back of the box. The graphics are dynamite. Alright. Alright, we are out of here. That's a good start. Let's play this game. Always listen to merry melodies. The merry-go-round broke down, which is the theme song to... If I didn't mess up the name, it's the theme song to Looney Tunes. We're gonna be hearing so much of that. You guys are gonna be sick. I listened to it for like a grand total of like 1 hour testing through these games. And I love it, but it grinds on your ears. From that on, you knew Roger Sharp had no fucking idea what the hell was even talking about who framed Roger Rabbit. Atari have been owned by Warner at this point, presenting games didn't happen more often. Yeah, because it's licensed games, though that's where the money was a lot of the time. Anyway, let's go through this, okay? It's just a bit jacked, not too jacked, right? The graphics are dynamite. Roger Sharp, Video Games Magazine. For use of the Atari 2600 series systems and the Sears Video Arcade and Video Arcade 2, yeah, those are things. 1 or 2 players. Use your joystick controllers with this Atari registered game program trademark cartridge. Model Z699. That screen is the game. That's it. That's all there is. Main character is right in the middle. You don't actually see anything other than a spinning thing. Woo! We're doing a Looney Tunes retrospective. Yes, Max Arc. All 102 games of it. Yeah, there are different ROMs even, that's right. Gain high scores instead of pounds as you take Taz, the ravenous Tasmanian devil, on a feeding frenzy. The better you play, the more fattening foods come your way. Hamburgers, root beer, ice cream, just watch out for dynamite. If Tess eats that, pow, he'll get an awful bellyache. Features: whirlwind action, scrumptious gameplay, a veritable video game feast. This is an Atari original, designed, programmed, and audio by Steven Wojta. Computer graphics by Steven Wojta and Jerome Domorat. A veritable video game feast. First Looney Tunes video game ever, yes. So again, if you just got here, I'm not gonna keep this on the screen too long, but here is the list. 102 games. It includes Animaniacs and Pinky and The Brain, but we're moving on with the first one. And this took me so long, like, just to get all the cover arts and catalog and order everything and prepare all the overlays. I'm not finished. I finished like a third of the games so far. They're ready to play. I hope that lasts me enough to get some rest and resume working on it. So let's move over here. That's game 1 out of 102. Holy fuck, man. Good on you. Is it? Is it good on me? I don't know if it is good on me. I think it might not be. It might be bad for my health. Some of these games, we're not gonna spend a lot of time on them. It's fine. Like, there is one arcade game here. We're gonna be like, yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna be 1cc in the arcade game. We'll end up never doing that anyway. So let's get this show on the road. It's dedication, okay. Credited VCS games. Those are rare. Let me start the timer. Where's the capture here? Let me look at that Taz. I'm gonna pause here so we can look at it. The timer keeps running while we look at it. Borgar! If you're doing things you like doing, isn't time wasted. Yeah, like some of these I'll not enjoy, but overall, the overall experience, I'm really looking forward to it. That is emote worthy. Consummate V's, consummate V's. Yes, that's a good reference right there. Fantastic work, yes. Alright, let me unpause. And let's see how good this is. That's it, that's the game.
This is fine.
That's it. We can move on if we want to. This is it. There's nothing else here. It's just score. Just score. I know some people will take offense. Yeah, that's the explosion. The sprite gets wider. Did it get a bit easier for a moment because I died? I think it did. That's actually quite clever. And now the things are not synchronized anymore, so that's slightly better gameplay. I can't believe I'm evaluating the gameplay on this. This would be a lot better. This is awkward on a D-pad. It would be a lot better on actual Atari 2600 controller. Sony, after they made Taz, they thought of him as one off gag. Yeah, then they made Tasmania, and Tasmania was extremely popular. Should you get this? I mean, if you already have all the good games, sure. Like, there's so... I freaking love the 2600. There are many games in it that I love. There are simple, basic arcade-style games like this. Oh, we got beer, everyone! We got beer! It's root beer, it's not alcoholic. This is fine, chat. Oh, the beer gives me 100 points. We got upgrades, chat. You see, there is no Taz in the game. They got his picture up front and they got a random whirlwind here. That's not testing there, actually. Like, his contract didn't... They couldn't afford tests for the entire game. It was just for the poster. I know I shouldn't be expecting music from a Atari 2600 game, but the title screen is silent. That's a disgrace. Also, the controls for going up and down, it goes more than it should sometimes. I'm not giving this like a full attempt. I'm sure you guys understand my potentially lack of dedication with this. Maybe we can see at least the next food. Yeah, we got ice creams. They all convert. The beers become ice creams. The ones that are on screen. That's so lazy. They just replace the sprite. The rest of the code is all the same. Yeah, I know. Programming for the Atari 2600 was a nightmare. We got an extra... Ooh, score gives lives? Okay, game went from 0 to 2 out of 10 really quickly there. Extra lives for score, man. Okay, I'm a bit invested, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I can't read chat right now. I'm pretty sure I can't pause this. Button does nothing, of course it doesn't. I hope everyone is behaving in chat because, like... Can you dig it? Yeah, I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that joke. I was gonna show up the list on stream, and instead of saying how many games there are, I was gonna ask, can you count, suckers? Oh, we got popsicles. Or corn dogs. What? Yeah, corn dogs is funnier for some reason. Corn dogs is better than pudding pops. Yeah, corn dogs are freaking awesome. They're not very well known here in Brazil. At all. They're not a traditional thing here, but my wife made some mean corn dog. I wish the explosives were also... It's not actually getting harder, you know? It's not getting faster or more bombs. It's just how long can you stay focused for? You can play it safe. We got another... We're gonna be here forever, chat. I think I'm gonna play on the keyboard. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't go when you press up or... Oh, shit! Crazed wave! Okay, we saw the content. Jesus. It was crazed, yes. Stop the timer. 6 minutes, there we go. When asked for a context, Taz murdered the interviewer. There you go. He ripped the contract. Hours of fun in 1983. Yeah, sure. This food looks too much like the dynamite. Maybe that's part of the difficulty. You prefer Barrett sausages. It doesn't go faster. The game heard me, yes. We ate apple cores, the yummiest of foods. So, alright. That's... Woo! One thumb up? It works. at least it works, right? That's all we can count for here. All right, 1 thumb up. Playable shit. Alright, let me get ready to the next one. Woo! Let me pull this down. By the way, hang on, I forgot to show you guys something. Hang on, the VOD is gonna get weird because I'm going back and forth here. You think the video is over, it isn't. This game was released in Europe as well, but over there they didn't know the Tasmanian Devil, so instead they branded it as an Asterix game. Why Asterix? I don't know, he was really popular in Europe, he was really popular here in Brazil as well. I do want to do an Asterix retrospective sometime, I freaking love the character. But yeah, I forgot to mention, this game was released as Asterix in Europe. A few games like that were released as different things. I have notes for weird stuff that I might want to mention about these games. But yeah, once again, one thumbs up, playable shit.